Pat Riley was never just a coach. He was a presence that walked into a locker room and immediately changed the temperature. When he took over the Los Angeles Lakers in the early 1980s, he didn't just inherit Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. He inherited expectations of greatness. Riley didn't whisper his philosophy, he declared it. Showtime became more than a style of play. It became an identity built on pace, precision, and relentless confidence. Under Riley, the Lakers didn't just win games, they dominated eras. 5 championships in the 80s turned him from a slick sideline figure into a basketball mastermind. But even in glory, whispers followed him about ego, control, and the cost of winning. With the Lakers, Riley demanded conditioning that bordered on obsession. Players ran until their legs burned and practiced until perfection felt mandatory. He preached unity, yet he ruled with authority that sometimes clashed with star personalities. Magic Johnson thrived under him, but tensions quietly brewed as expectations kept rising. Riley's famous promise of a three-peat after back-to-back titles was bold, maybe too bold. When the Lakers failed to complete it in 1989, critics called it arrogance. That promise symbolized Riley's greatest strength and biggest controversy. He never thought small. Winning was not the goal, dominance was. After leaving Los Angeles, Riley shocked the league by taking over the New York Knicks in 1991, gone with Showtime's flair, replaced by grit, defense, and bruising physicality. The Knicks became a reflection of Riley's harder edge. Built around Patrick Ewing and relentless defense, games turned into wars, and Madison Square Garden became a battlefield. Critics accused Riley of turning basketball into a wrestling match. Supporters said he simply built a team capable of challenging Michael Jordan's Bulls. Either way, the Knicks became feared, and Riley proved he could win with style or without it. In New York, Riley's control intensified. Practices were military-like, and discipline was non-negotiable. He demanded sacrifice, even from stars, and clashed with management over power. The 1994 Knicks reached the NBA Finals, falling heartbreakingly short against the Houston Rockets. Some blamed Riley's rigid system for limiting creativity late in the series. Others believed he squeezed every ounce of potential from that roster. But controversy followed him again when he abruptly resigned in 1995. The exit felt less like a goodbye and more like a calculated escape. Soon after, Riley resurfaced with the Miami Heat, and the drama only deepened. His move from New York to Miami involved accusations of tampering and power plays. The Heat gave him not just coaching authority, but executive power. Riley wasn't just shaping lineups, he was shaping the entire organization. In Miami, he initially built tough defensive teams around Alonzo Mourning and Tim Hardaway. The Heat-Knicks rivalry became personal, physical, and unforgettable. Riley thrived in chaos, almost as if controversy fueled his edge. His Miami teams mirrored his personality, intense, disciplined, and unapologetically tough. Critics argued that Riley's demanding culture burned players out, yet others believed that very pressure created resilience. Playoff battles against the Knicks in the late 90s were filled with suspensions, fights, and drama. Riley never backed down publicly, rarely softened his tone. He believed fear and respect were closely linked. Under him, Miami transformed from an expansion afterthought into a legitimate contender. In 2006, Riley stepped back into the head coaching role after serving mainly as team president, with Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal leading the charge. He guided the Heat to their first NBA championship. Some said he took over mid-season because he didn't trust his predecessor. Others said only Riley's authority could stabilize the roster. Regardless, the title added to his legacy across 3 different franchises. Few coaches in history have adapted across eras the way Riley did. From Showtime's speed to grinded-out defense, he mastered contrast. Riley's coaching style was rooted in psychological warfare as much as strategy. He understood that belief could be weaponized. He dressed sharply, spoke confidently, and projected inevitability. To some players, he was inspirational. To others, he was intimidating. He rarely tolerated excuses, and loyalty was expected, not negotiated. That intensity built champions, but it also left fractured relationships behind. Across the Lakers, Knicks, and Heat, Riley's blueprint remained consistent. Discipline first, ego second. He believed talent without structure was wasted potential. Championships in Los Angeles, a finals run in New York, and a title in Miami cemented his adaptability. Yet every stop included friction with stars or management. Pat Riley was never just a basketball coach. He was a brand before branding became fashionable in sports. From the slick back hair to the tailored Armani suits, he transformed the image of an NBA coach into something cinematic. In the 1980s with the Los Angeles Lakers, Riley looked more like a Wall Street executive than a sideline strategist. That glamorous persona fit perfectly with the Showtime Lakers, but critics accused him of loving the spotlight too much. Some believe he carefully crafted his public image to elevate his own legend. Riley never denied enjoying presentation. He believed image projected power, and in his world, Power mattered. One of Riley's earliest controversies came during the height of the Lakers dynasty. After winning back-to-back championships in 1987 and 1988, he publicly guaranteed a three-peat. No team had done it since the 1960s Celtics, and many saw his statement as arrogant. When the Lakers fell short in 1989 after injuries derailed their finals run, critics pounced. They called him overly dramatic and obsessed with headlines. Riley defended his words, saying belief fuels greatness, but that bold promise painted him as both fearless and egotistical. It was the first major example of Riley's confidence turning polarizing. His departure from the Lakers in 1990 added fuel to the fire. Reports surfaced of burnout, tension, and power struggles within the organization. Some players felt exhausted by his relentless demands and motivational tactics. Others suggested that management and Riley clashed over control. He left abruptly, and speculation swirled that his intense style had worn thin. Riley denied dramatic fallout, but the exit felt anything but smooth. Even in departure, controversy followed him. When Riley joined the New York Knicks in 1991, he reinvented himself stylistically, but drama returned. His Knicks teams were physical, defensive, and sometimes brutally aggressive. Opponents accused them of crossing the line between toughness and dirty play. The fierce playoff battles with the Chicago Bulls and later the Miami Heat became infamous for fights and suspensions. Critics argued Riley encouraged a win-at-all-costs mentality. Supporters said he simply built a team strong enough to challenge Michael Jordan. Either way, the league viewed the Knicks as Riley's reflection, intimidating and unapologetic. Perhaps the most controversial chapter came in 1995 when Riley left the Knicks for the Miami Heat. The move triggered accusations of tampering and behind-the-scenes negotiations. The Knicks demanded compensation, and Miami ultimately sent draft picks to settle the dispute. Many New York fans felt betrayed, believing Riley chased power and warmer weather. He not only became head coach in Miami, but also secured significant executive authority. The transition strengthened his reputation as a master negotiator, but it also reinforced the belief that Riley always positioned himself first. Riley's lifestyle in Miami amplified his larger-than-life persona, living in luxury, maintaining his signature polished look, and commanding full organizational control. He embodied authority. Some players admired his professionalism and high standards. Others felt the pressure was suffocating. Riley's famous Heat culture demanded peak conditioning and mental toughness. Body fat percentages were monitored, and discipline was strict. To critics, it bordered on obsessive control. During the late 1990s, Riley's rivalry with the Knicks intensified the controversy. Playoff series between Miami and New York were filled with physical altercations and suspensions. Analysts debated whether Riley's philosophy encouraged excessive aggression. Games often looked more like street fights than polished basketball. The NBA fined players and tightened rules in response. Riley never publicly apologized for his team's identity. He believed intimidation was strategic. Another debated moment came in 2003 to 2006 when Riley transitioned from coach to team president, then back to coach. In 2006, he replaced Stan Van Gundy midseason as Miami's head coach. Van Gundy stepped down citing family reasons, but many speculated Riley orchestrated a takeover. The Heat went on to win the championship that season behind Dwayne Wade and Shaquille O'Neal. Critics questioned the timing of the change. Supporters argued Riley's leadership was necessary for a title run. The championship quieted noise, but suspicions lingered. Riley's relationship with star players has also drawn attention. While many respected him, he demanded total buy-in. He clashed at times with strong personalities who resisted strict structure. Stories circulated about emotional speeches, psychological pressure, and intense film sessions. Some former players describe him as inspirational. Others quietly describe him as controlling. The duality defines his legacy. His role in forming the Miami Big Three in 2010 brought both praise and backlash. Riley met with LeBron James, Dwayne Wade, and Chris Bosh to pitch Miami's vision. Critics argued that the move contributed to the era of superstar team building that shifted league balance. Some traditionalists blamed Riley for accelerating player-driven super teams. Yet from a business standpoint, it was brilliant. Miami became the center of the basketball universe overnight. Riley once again proved he understood power dynamics. Financially, Riley has lived comfortably, benefiting from long-term executive contracts and championship success. His lifestyle has often symbolized ambition and reward. Expensive suits, waterfront properties, and a composed public demeanor reinforced his executive aura. He rarely appears rattled in interviews. Even in controversy, he maintains calculated calm. That composure sometimes frustrates critics who want emotional transparency, but Riley has always controlled the narrative carefully. Media members have occasionally accused Riley of being overly secretive. He rarely reveals internal conflicts. Publicly, trades and organizational shifts often happen quietly under his watch. Some see this as professionalism, others view it as manipulation, Riley's silence can be strategic, allowing speculation to swirl while he works behind the scenes. That mystery adds to his mystique. Despite controversies, his lifestyle reflects discipline rather than recklessness. Riley speaks often about preparation, reading, and mental focus. He treats leadership like a craft. Even his fashion choices are intentional, projecting authority and polish in many ways. He built the prototype for the modern executive coach. Today's NBA leaders often mirror his balance of branding and basketball intellect. Riley understood presentation decades before social media amplified it. Through decades in Los Angeles, New York, and Miami, controversy followed Riley like a shadow. Bold guarantees, abrupt exits, physical team identities, executive power plays. Each chapter added layers to his legend, yet championships accompanied nearly every storm. His life has been lived publicly, but controlled privately. He remains both admired and questioned, and perhaps that tension is exactly how Pat Riley prefers it die in the end. Riley's controversies and lifestyle are inseparable from his success. He demanded excellence, projected confidence, and never shied away from power. Some call him calculating, others call him visionary. What cannot be denied is that wherever Riley went, headlines followed. And in the NBA, attention is often the currency of legacy.